let's just take a moment. Let's just take a goddamn moment. Oh, anywho, baby. Welcome back to the La Facade. Yo, I didn't even think, you know what I mean? It's been a minute, man. Like, today I was just feeling to, connect with the people, you know what I'm saying? Drop some wisdom, drop some knowledge. Just to be honest, just to kind of get some things off my chest as well and kind of internalize things that I've been thinking about and doing and etc. But let's just get straight into it. So, you know, I don't remember the last time. I think the last time I made a video was on November because I remember it was about No Not November and shit. And yeah, today I kind of want to talk about love. You know what I'm saying? Not in the aspect of loving like, a girl or X, Y, and Z or whatever you want to call it. But I want to talk about love in the aspect of, what like, love, innit? That connection with yourself, that connection to your heart, chakra, and all of these type of things. Because, you know, let's take it back a little bit. So like last year, I was just hustling, like man's just been hustling, like when I say hustle, I'm talking like, brother, cutting off everything that I knew and loved, stopping going out. That was a good thing, by the way. Like, seeing my friends less, doing less things, just kind of like, focusing on the hustle and it. Cold showers, doing up everything, like, meditating pretty much every day, eating healthy, eating good. Like, bro, I was a machine, fam. And yo, the results were speaking for itself because, last year I only just opened up, we only just opened up this properties business, and like, to see the progress that we've made already, like, man's, look where I'm at right now. I'm in one of them months right now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that the results were coming through, do you know what I mean? Like, I was getting it done. I also opened up my agency as well. Really started putting in that work in the past like 3 to 4 months. But what I was seeing was that my general happiness wasn't really there. Love wasn't really there either. It was quite absent. Yeah, I got with my girl last year as well, which is like, okay, cool. But again, I'm not talking about that type of love. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about that love that you have for yourself, the love that you have for life, and the love that you have for your family and things like this. Like, that shit was becoming and your friends as well, that shit was becoming very distant. And I think a lot of men as well tend to kind of, retreat into this bubble when they get into a relationship a lot of the time, and I fell kind of victim to that as well, obviously, because again, I'm a man, and like, looking back at my past relationships and experiences, it's always kind of been like that. So, you know, kind of going through that, and then also trying to be on this like straight hustle mentality. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I could feel that I was getting disconnected more and more from like the source, which is God, and like I was getting more and more disconnected from my self-love and stuff like that. And like before this, bro, I was literally just basking in feminine energy. Do you know what I mean? Because literally that's how I grew up. I grew up around a very predominantly, feminine family, feminine household, etc. My mum was like basically the head honcho of the house and shit, so that obviously had an effect on, the way I view things and the way I act and etc. etc. Even if we want to talk about anima and animus possession as well, and the fact we'll get into that a bit later, innit? I don't think it's time yet, but like going through these different things, and then it's like on top of that now, like when I got a taste of the masculine energy, structure, order, discipline, and all of these things, like, bro, that shit was intoxicating, fam. Because it was like, it felt right, it felt right being able to chase this, it felt right being able to do things, it felt right being able to succeed my goals at such an alarming rate. Like, I'm so connected to the source right now that it's like, fam, I can make shit happen like this, fam. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, my mind is quite strong. Not even quite, it's very strong. Let's not even sugarcoat things anymore, fam, because this year I'm turning 25 as well. 5 more years and I'm 30. Like, I'm a man now. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, there's no point of kind of sugarcoating certain things anymore. Like, my mind is very strong, my spirit is very strong. Everything was very strong, but then like what I saw was like, the power within the heart that was kind of lacking and kind of dwindling as well. And that was also having an effect on, my relationships with people. And that's what I was noticing a lot. Like, yo, you know, I'm not really nurturing my relationships enough. I'm not really connected to people enough. I'm not, you know, aligning with people enough. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm doing my thing, but I think in the UK especially, there's this culture of like, you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing type thing. You get me? So it's like everyone's just, no one. Okay, let's in the UK, no one will really holler you, fam, like that, fam. Like everyone's doing their thing, you're doing your thing. That's just how it is. You get me? Obviously, you got your boy them and your peoples that are pretty close, but then even that. So let's say, for example, you like your group of friends have kind of come from this place of never really hustling, never really being on shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like everyone was kind of always slacking off, smoking bud all the time, going out, partying, fucking bitches, whatever you wanna call it, and then it's like you then kind of transition into like being a man and like taking responsibility of certain things and doing certain things, and that now creates pressure within that group to now also succeed, because in a man's world, and it like it's very competitive, it's very hyper dominated space. It's a very dog eat dog world, especially in the UK. It might not be like that in other places, but in the UK, and it's definitely like that. So what I was noticing is that as we're trying to elevate, everyone's now kind of like spreading apart more and more, because again, he's doing his thing, I'm gonna do my thing. You get me? But then it's like, I started thinking to myself, and especially it's a testament to my girl as well, and it like, she's very bound within. Obviously, she's a woman in it, but she's a very feminine woman. She's very like connected with her empathy and her heart and all of this kind of stuff, and maybe that's probably why I gravitated her so easily, because it's like, I don't know if maybe that was something that I was seeking to learn about, or something that I need us to kind of because like in relationships, it's kind of like you've got one part that fulfills something and the other part that fulfills something as well, and then you both bring that together to create something that's ultimately for fulfilling throughout life. And like, yeah, I was just noticing that people are becoming more distant, including myself as well. Like I was like, I don't have time for like all this passa and all this other kind of nonsense kind of thing, innit? But that's not really how you want to live your life. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna speak for myself here when I say this. It's like, you know, let's say I make it, and let's say I was still going down the path I was doing, and then I made it, right? And then obviously, as a result of making it, now you kind of want to, give back, because I don't know, me personally, that's the reason why I'm trying to make it anyway. Like, I'm trying to give back. I'm trying to, invest in people. I'm trying to, push the life forward and kind of like go back to Africa and do all of that kind of ish. But then it's like, okay, cool. Throughout that time of like in my 20s, if all I was doing was like pushing people away and like really just going into this hyper focus, don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like tunnel vision, I'm just trying to hustle. What is that going to do to my relationships? And then let's say I was to make it and I've got all this mass amount of money. What am I now? What are my relationships now going to look like? Do you know what I'm saying? Are people actually, loving or fucking with me for me? Or is it a case of like, okay, cool, I've made it now, and it's kind of like now I'm trying to like holler people, and I'm like, yo, bro, what you saying? Yo, dig it, and all of this shit. But do you know what I mean? That's not how relationships work, is what I've kind of started figuring out. It's something you have to cultivate throughout life, and it's something that you have to kind of bring towards, that pinnacle stage of life that you're trying to reach, because it's like, okay, cool. What was essentially happening was, because I know all you guys feel this right now, time is moving very fast, innit? Some kind of shift happened or switch happened when COVID happened, innit? But all I know is since COVID happened, time is moving fast, okay? And I think everyone can agree with me on that. Time is moving quick. Like, we're already in Feb, fam. You know what I'm saying? We're already nearly finished Feb, bro. I'm telling you, next by it will feel like a week's just gone by and Feb's already gonna be done, fam. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like my life was literally skipping me, fam. And it's like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm gonna be living on to my 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, inshallah. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like, do I really want to miss out on all of that value that I could have had as well within my 20s? Because I think especially in the West, we put a lot of pressure on this, like, this age range of like the 20s, of like, yo, it's either you're hustling or you ain't doing shit. Do you know what I'm saying? But then it's like, okay, cool, I hear that. But then it's like, we also need space for that love in it. Do you get me? We also need space for that time to, spend time with your people, spend time with your family, spend time with, doing things that you love as well. That might not be, adding towards the, greater purpose or the greater goal, but it's something that you need to kind of keep yourself, intact, to be honest, because it's like, if all I'm doing is hustling 24/7, like, bro, I was becoming numb to shit, fam. I'm telling you, I'm becoming numb to pain, numb to like tiredness, numb to all of that shit. I was a machine, nigga. Like I could have, and I probably could have became one of the richest man alive, fam. I'm not even gonna lie to you, especially if I stayed in that. But then, life's not really about that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay not being the richest man because like I'm not trying to be the richest man. I'm trying to be wealthy so I can kind of spread that out throughout my communities and also within my home, innit? Within Africa. But then it's like, okay, cool. If I'm living like this now, then how the hell am I thinking that I'm gonna get there? Like, I'm neglecting such a key development in my a key stage in my development of becoming more sociable, becoming more connected with people and things like such. Because, bro, in my family as well, from a lot of people pass away, man. I'm not gonna lie, from like we've had a lot of deaths, especially up till now. Like it's like every year someone new dies and then another person dies within that year, and it's like it's a lot, fam, because it's like, okay, cool, I'm working on this, like trying to make all this money, trying to gather all this ish, to actually, give to these people who are my so-called family and my peoples. But then it's like, okay, cool, are any of them even going to be around by the time you made it? Are you willing to risk waiting that time until you make it to now, try and connect and da. And by no means am I saying, like, mess up the hustle. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the hustle is bread and butter, bro. I'll always understand this. The hustle needs to continue, but it's hustling smart, fam. Like, you don't want to hustle hard. You want to hustle smart, fam. Like, I don't know why, like in the West, like we try and like idolize suffering, idolize the struggle, all of this type of shit, eating noodles every day, because man's saving all his peas and that. Like, bro, have a steak meal in once every while, fam. It's not gonna kill you. Probably even like it as well. Do you know what I mean? And that kind of like being able to connect to that feminine energy, that love, that chakra, is like, it now gives you more fulfillment to keep on pushing. Like, you don't forget why you're actually doing this, because I'm not gonna lie, when you get too much in the masculine and you just hustling, like, you forget why you're doing it sometimes, and then you remind yourself, oh yeah, my purpose, but that purpose becomes hazy, fam. You start forgetting about that ish, fam, because it's like, yo, you ain't even got time to be thinking about your purpose. All you got time for is hustling, moving on to the next thing, doing your thing, doing your thing, doing your thing, doing your thing. So it's like, bro, this year like was something where I was like, okay, cool, I'm actually gonna like put my foot off the gas a little bit and actually start, doing more things that I want to do. Do you know what I'm saying? Placing in more barriers where it allows me to kind of, be in my own space, nurture my relationships and so forth. And that's had such a positive impact already within this year. Like, I'm still moving at such an incredibly fast rate. Like, things are manifesting like crazy. And I'm not gonna lie, when I kind of really even connected back to this love heart chakra, and like, what essentially happened was, it was almost like, it became even more easier, because now it was like I'm actually getting to experience everything about life. Because the thing is about this as well, this is the caveat about, connecting back to the heart chakra and love, and letting people back into your life, especially when you're trying to become something and hustle. There's the price for love is pain. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the main reasons why, like, me, myself included, and other people, you just end up saying, fuck it, fam. Why the fuck should I even holler niggas? Why should I even go out if all of this pain is just coming? But then it's like, okay, cool. Yes, you're getting pain from those situations, but then what are you also benefiting from that? Maybe there was a time which, because this is what I've noticed about life, and I keep getting off these tangents, but it all kind of molds in to make the bigger picture. What I've gathered about life is that we tend to experience one extreme of a spectrum. Okay, I'll experience the hyper masculine side of me. Do you know what I'm saying? And then I'll experience the hyper feminine side of me. And then what I then try and do is I try and bring it back together. I try and bring it to the center. To the center. And I've noticed that's the best place for me, anyway, personally, to operate from. And I think, looking back at a lot of historical texts, a lot of prophets, Muhammad, Jesus, Buddha, you know, Hinduism and all of this type of stuff, it's always been about keeping it to your center, like keeping everything back to the center. That's where you want to be operating from. That's the best place to operate from, because with that there's balance. Do you know what I mean? And there's a lot of benefits to being hyper masculine and hyper feminine, but then there's also a lot of negatives to do that as well. And you're not really getting to experience the full essence of self and of life. So, you know, when I had to take a step back and kind of start connecting to this heart again, like, it's been amazing, man. Like, it's weird because even before I got into that hyper masculine state, when I was going through like my sorry, someone's calling me, not sure who that is. Might be my agent, but when I was going through that kind of like, you know, hyper masculine stage and then that hyper feminine stage, it was almost like I would see this isn't it. I'll be going from a hyper feminine, it's not it. Let me go straight to the hyper masculine. This isn't it. And now I'm kind of now trying to center that these two duality of energies and bring them back together to now create something that's more sustainable, that allows me to experience every efficacy of life. I'm trying to experience everything. I am the universe experiencing itself. So within that, I need to experience as much as possible. Well, I don't need to, but I would like to, because that's how I want to live my life. I don't want to be doing the same mundane thing every single day. A lot of people are probably happy with that, but if you're watching my channel, then you probably aren't happy with that, and you're probably in the same boat as me. You want to get to experience a lot in life, and you just have to operate from the center, and operating from the center is love. But then you also have to operate from the mind too. You have to protect that love and nurture it and guide it to somewhere where it's actually going to make use. Do you know what I'm saying? Not just essentially kind of, you know, be running on a tangent. Because it's even the same with my girl. When I first met her, I could see she was a very loving person, but with that excess amount of love, it's like, okay, cool, you can also be taken advantage of, because people are going to see that and take advantage of you. You're just trying to give and love, which is cool. But then it's like, you can still do that, but then you have to, like, you know what I mean, guide that shit to be like, hey man, just go here. Do you know what I mean? Get in the center here so I can guide you and do what I need to do, and, you know what I'm saying, direct that love outwards and shit. But I hope this made sense, innit? This was more kind of like a message to like all the entrepreneurs and all the hustlers out there, all of the niggas that are on that, yo, get money, fuck bitches type shit, or get money, fuck everything. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a very dangerous mentality to have, man, because, bro, I was getting empty, man. You know what I'm saying? I was becoming this hardened shell of machine. Do you know what I'm saying? Hustling all the time, getting all of this, and like, again, it's a testament to what I've built, fam. Like, look where I'm at. I'm in one of my new apartments, about to get set up and done, and I'm back off to Birmingham. But then it's like, with this now, it's like, yo, I'm having so much more time to actually relax and do things that I want to do. Do you know what I'm saying? And being able to do that is connecting me back to my heart and back to that chakra. And now I can see how it's also having an effect on my relationships as well. Like, I'm now connecting back out there, because a lot of people say it's lonely at the top, but it doesn't have to be, man. It's lonely when you got freedom, but it doesn't have to be. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just do you, man. Experience and like love as well, man. Don't forget that, man. And yeah, life aside, that's all I really wanted to say. But yo, I don't know if I'm coming back with these videos full time in it, but I just make them when I feel like they need to be made, and you know, it's time for me to actually kind of spread a message and etc, etc. So, you know, thanks for watching as usual, and yeah, man, peace.